Hey, this is me building a $3 million per year business in public. The way these videos always go is I start with some YouTube comment Q&A just to deliver some value, answer some questions, usually about automation. There is a big train right next door, so hopefully you guys can still hear me okay. Then I chat about growth on Instagram, YouTube, my products, and so on and so forth. Then finally, I rounded it with one improvement, and this improvement is going to be pulled somewhere from this big list of things that I'm currently changing in my business. Okay, so this is my main channel here, 130,000 subscribers as of today. This is the daily updates channel. I scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then I just answer starting with the oldest comments. So if you guys want me to answer your comments, just drop one down below. I will get to it. I get to all of them. So the Dale Landoy says, containerized, good business model. Do you recommend productizing services that your prices are set? Could vary in complexity and value, and you can begin from there? No, I don't actually. I don't recommend productizing at the very beginning because you usually don't know what you don't know at the beginning. And productization, in order to do it effectively, you have to do things like fix your margins. You have to do things like understand cost of goods, understand typically how to hire people, how much money you can expect to pay for certain services. You can obviously guesstimate some of these, but yeah, I actually wouldn't recommend productizing right away. I think you're much better off just like hitting the ground running and talking to people and trying to fill whatever need that they have. And then worrying about all that stuff later. But after, you make, let's say $3,000 or $4,000 a month, then you can worry about productizing, okay? All right, so Vam says, I recently landed $2,500 with all the free knowledge and tools you give away. Firstly, thank you. I literally didn't make a dime for an entire year until I started employing your strategies. Secondly, they're a professional video company. They're looking to have a cold outbound system built for them. I would scrape leads based on search intent if they're hiring for relevant roles like editors, then build a personalized cold email engine. Hopefully you can give me some advice as this is my first client. I wanted to hear you'd service them if you were in my shoes. Well, first of all, congratulations, Suvan. That is not a small feat by any means. $2,500 is more money than probably 90% of the world has ever made throughout aside from traditional employment. So you should be really stoked on this, man. And I appreciate the kind words here. So how do I approach this exact system? Yeah, I'll show you. Honestly, it's pretty straightforward. Let me just scroll all the way down here to the bottom of my stack. Yeah, we got a stack now. So how would I do this? Let's just call it a search intent system. And we're doing it for video, right? Here's the reward for the $2,500 going into detail here. So the search intent video system, I would start by scraping the simplest and easiest source, which is always going to be LinkedIn. Okay. LinkedIn is just always going to be the easiest. Why? Because you can do this via Appify. Let me show you guys what I mean. So Appify Actor over here, LinkedIn, I should be able to go LinkedIn jobs. Oh yeah, it's actually the first one, LinkedIn job scrapers. Check this out. This one's rental. I don't actually want the rental. So why don't I go pricing models? Can we go pay per result? That seems easy. Yeah, pay per result right over here. Let's try it for free. Okay, and now LinkedIn jobs. Let's go here. Internships. I don't want internships. I don't know. AI automation. We do that. So are there roles for AI automation? Sales manager? Man, I don't want sales man. Okay, whatever. This is probably fine. Anyway, then you copy the URL. You paste it in here, right? And then what is the minimum here? Can we do like 10 job scrape? That'd make my life really easy. You can also set it to scrape company details if you want. You don't have to. And for those of you that don't know, Appify is just like a scraping marketplace that compiles a big list of scrapers that other people have coded, and then they just expose them to you via endpoint. Now, you can't always scrape all the jobs in a list. Oh, never mind. It's less than 100. Yeah. So I was right. You got to do 100. Let's just not scrape company details for now. It'll make it faster. Okay. For those of you guys that don't know, Appify is a marketplace. What's really cool about when you work with marketplaces is the people that post these scrapers on their marketplace are all incentivized to race to the bottom and keep the prices pretty low for you. So it's pretty neat. And there's like 10 million different ways to scrape jobs. This is just one of them. But that's how I would do it. Okay. I would start with this. And then what's next? After you scrape the LinkedIn jobs, you then scrape / enrich emails. For those of you guys that don't know, in order to enrich emails, all you really need, and you don't actually need this, but all you really need is the company name. Sorry, company website. That's what I meant to say, which you can get from the company name. If you have the company website, you can use any of a million tools. The one I like the most is Any Mail Finder. Any Mail Finder is a not free service, but pretty low cost service. Let me see if maybe I have it here. Doesn't actually look like I have it here, unfortunately. Where you can just pump in like any URL. Oh man. I don't remember what my freaking login is. Give me one sec. What do we got here? Right, there we go. Okay, so you can pump in any URL here that you want, okay? And then go and find, let's just search company search. and then you go leftclick.ai like me, then guess what? If it finds an email, it'll find it. So nick.s@leftclick.ai. It's actually found me. So that's an actual email address of mine. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. What other emails do I have? 1secondcopy.com. Let's check this out. Searching. It found 4. Nick, Noah, info, hello. Please don't spam me. Anyway, so why do I show you guys this? Because check out the output of this scraper. Okay. One of the outputs of this scraper is, let me just see all of this. Oh, you know what? I totally lied. Actually, I think we do need to scrape details because I don't think you can actually get the URL until then, can you? Let me see here. Is there a website URL in here? No, there's no explicit field. My bad. So you actually do need to scrape the company details. I lied, but I just didn't want to spend more time and energy doing that. So scrape company details for Christ's sake. Don't make the same mistake as I. Anyway, so what do you get as a result of this? Well, now you get a bunch of websites. You can enrich them to get a bunch of people at those websites. Once you have the people, and there's multiple ways to do this. You can find decision makers. You can just find the company search. If you are just finding those emails like nick.s@leftclick, what do? You actually pass this into AI. And you say, hey, AI, but here's an email address and a domain. I want you to scrape the domain, Google it too, get all the results, and then also concatenate that together with Nick and then do a search. So Nick leftclick.ai, guess what? You run this, the title is going to say by Nick Saraev. That's going to give me the first name and the last name of the guy that runs the show here, which is going to make any outreach that I send to Mr. Nick Saraev, sounds handsome, that much more effective. Isn't that neat? So anyway, let's actually see the output here with the long stuff. Website, right. So boom, now we have this. Check this out. I'm actually going to go over here and then I'll go over here. I'll pump that in. We are finding emails. Look at all these people. 167, not bad. We got a lot. So yeah. And once you do that, then you customize an email with the information that you just scraped. And you can scrape the job details. You can scrape anything you want. Isn't that cool? Man, I find that stuff so interesting. Can't believe we live in an age where you can just pump all this shit into the computer and get all that information. All right, anyway, so best of luck, Sivam. You got this, man. Not a big deal. Ariane Shez for the solicitation emails, just put them through an automation that filters a complete scam and have them feed into some sort of simple HTML site where it displays the original email and there's a text area beside it for you to write your own version of the same email in addition to roasting it so everyone can learn a bit more about good copywriting. That's really neat. Great idea, man. Hey, Nick, really love your content from Prime_G3. What can you as a third world Africa 23-year-old that wants to get in on this AI automation gold rush, zero capital, wants to scale to 10K a month, sort of a synthesized advice, having been in this a while, otherwise going to copy you, LOL. Dude, copy me. What's my advice, man? Dude, my advice is the same for you as it is for more or less anybody else. In fact, the cool thing about where you are is you get to take advantage of location arbitrage, where your cost of living is lower and at face value, like the stuff that clients are going to judge you on, sorry about that, is the same. So I get judged through a text medium. You get judged through a text medium. My cost of living is probably like 5 or 10 or 15 times higher than yours. You actually have a great opportunity. Now, obviously, there are some downsides because there's cultural barriers between you and the highest paying places in the world, like, the United States of America, for instance, whereas that doesn't really apply to me. I'm Canadian, which is pretty close to American cultural standards. But yeah, man, like no real advice aside from everything on my channel. I wish I could give you more. You seem to think that the knowledge is what you're missing. It's not. It's just the action, the consistency. You're good to go. Read your blog. You write so well. How do you type so fast? Thank you very much, Louis. How can we practice that? It's quite important for writing and overall to express ideas and make videos. And what software do you use for recording? Thank you, brother. Greetings from Spain. Greetings from Canada. Software is called OBS, Open Broadcast Studio. That's how I'm alt-tabbing back and forth between this big talking head and then this like little share screen thing. How do I type so fast? I've typed a lot. Big chunk of my life was spent typing. I played a lot of video games growing up, so really fast with the typing back when you couldn't do voice chat or anything. And then I took a typing class in university. Didn't really help me for shit, to be honest. I just did not want to go to class, so I went to typing class and I ended up skipping a couple of them. A lot of them. But yeah, man, I just type a lot, honestly. I just got really good at this one, pretty deprecated old ass input method. It's not that important, man. Like, you just use Whisperflow instead. Check us out. Why is our links and outreach a liability? Ooh. Links and outreach are a liability because of X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, that kind of sucked, actually. Links in your outreach are a liability because of X, Y, and Z. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, and Z. How are you doing today, Alex? You look really cool and funky and spunky in that t-shirt. Okay, well, anyway, didn't get all of it. But the point I'm trying to make, I don't know why this isn't working. It normally works perfectly. You know what? I think it probably has to do with the fact that I'm now recording on OBS and also trying to do this. So anyway, when you do it on your own, it's way better. But yeah, yeah, that's how I type fast. That's how you can type fast too, without actually having to learn all that finger stuff. Why are links in an outreach email a liability? They're liability just because historically a lot of people have used them to scam others. So like phishing emails and stuff like that. Google wants to decrease the likelihood of phishing, and one way to decrease the likelihood of phishing is just decrease the number of links that are sent. So, get people marked in spam and whatnot. That's the main thing. So just try not to add links unless you're 100% convinced that it's necessary. We need to take a peek on that email copy, Nick. I don't know what you're referring to, unfortunately. 3 million or 4 million to make up your mind, Nick. Well, it's almost 5 million now. Oscarito says, hey, Nick, let's just assume you have a gun to your head. What's the go-to offer you would start selling to get to 2.5 to 5K a month? I do have some ideas on my own, like client acquisition systems for accounting firms. I'd really like to get into real estate. This is such a cheeky response. Anyway, I don't want to this is MRR, not ARR, right? Like, I don't know for sure that this is income I'm going to have for the rest of the year. So I'm trying to hedge against it quite a bit. And I must have misspoken there. But so far I only built an automated flour tracker for an enterprise scale bakery. That's so interesting. Hardest project of my life. Yeah, dude, tell me about it. I interned at a neurotechnology lab, and then I created them a website, and I absolute positioned every element on the website. Every element on the website. Holy shit, was it brutal. Nevertheless, I'm running email campaigns already, not 100% sure what to offer. Feels like I'm repeating myself, but oh well, I just need advice from the successful analysis field inside and out. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I could see 500K subs. That's only if I'm consistent with the daily publishing, though, and I've since stopped. However, we did publish a new video yesterday, and in 17 hours, we got almost 10,500 views. It's not the best, but it's also not that bad. So, yeah. Where was I? So what were some go-to offers you'd start selling to get to 2.5K? So, I mean, full disclosure, I have niche packs in Maker School that literally just give you systems that you could sell. So this is kind of like the point of Maker School. Just some off the top of my head, obviously cold email, lead gen systems, the same systems you're using to sell people are really good at selling to them. The reason why is because proof is in the pudding. A lot of the time it's like, how do I know if this works? It's like, well, why are you on a sales call with me right now? It's because I use the system. It's so congruent. There's very few systems that are congruent. I actually really like congruence in sales. Another system I often sell is the proposal generator. Why? Because it's congruent. I sell them on the proposal generator using a generated proposal. You know what I mean? Kind of sneaky. And there's nothing that is better than a system that you use yourself that you can personally vouch for. But I'll be real, man. You're not missing the systems at this point. You're just missing the consistency to put a bunch of stuff out there. So you just got to put a bunch of stuff out there. Solve a dope lifestyle. Could you give us some tips on the email subject? Maybe even share some of your best performers. Wink, wink. I'm sure you've tested a lot on this. This subject actually defines if an email is open, not peace, and keep it. If you want to know, my historically most consistent best performer, it's first name. It's first name Q. With or without this, actually. I don't remember which one's better. It's lower first name. So for instance, it'd just be Nick Q. Nick. Yo, Nick. Hey, man. Stuff like this. Stuff you think looks like an SMS. Why? Because a pattern matches SMSs that people receive from their friends and family and stuff, and they're a lot more likely to think, does this person know me? Let me click on this email to make sure. And then once they've clicked on your email, because you followed my wonderful copywriting formula and you write super high quality offers, if they make it to the bottom of the email, they say, holy shit, that's an amazing offer. Really? Actually, that's almost too good to be true. And then, you sell them. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Good God, man. What a day. Let's do some brand stats. For those of you that don't know, brand stats are when I go over my growth for about 24 hours. Today, it's longer than 24 hours because of what I'm about to tell you. So we grew 1,500 subs in the last 30-ish hours, actually. 202,456 on the Instagram. That's going well. Daily updates channels, this one. Let's go back to the analytics. 6,518, up 72. These are just scaled up versions of the previous day, so they're not really anything special. Yesterday, I did my daily update in the morning. Now I'm doing my daily update pretty late. So, the main reason why is you will notice that the background is different. I was assured to me that I would have my internet by today. I do not have my internet by today. Fortunately, I got the box and I did the setup and all that stuff. It just didn't work. So that kind of sucked. I called in and I kind of felt myself slowly becoming a bitter old man as they were like, have you tried turning it on and off again? And I was like, yes. They're like, listen, we'll extend you some credit. I was like, you're damn right you're going to extend me some credit. But I was also like, after a certain point, like you just don't care, you know? I was chatting about this with a friend of mine, Matt, who makes a ton of money, obviously. And he was like, when you go to a restaurant, they give you like the wrong thing. Like, what do you do? Do you like make a big fuss about it? I was like, no, I don't. They're just like people working a job. Like they didn't do it to screw up my life. I asked them if it's something I really wanted. Whew. Like, hey, thanks, but I didn't, this isn't what I ordered. Would you mind swapping it for X, Y, and Z? And like most of the time they do it. But like, am I going to like raise a big thing? And be like, how dare you? No. And I feel the same way with email and just like these minor inconveniences. So like, a woman's apologizing to me. I'm so sorry. And I felt like the bitter old man and me be like, that's damn right you are. But then I was like, I just don't care enough. Like, is it true that I've lost all this money directly as a result of not having a good internet connection? Yeah. But is it also entirely my fault? Yeah. Like, if I knew more about this and if I had planned a little bit better and if I had understood how important it is to have like extraordinarily fast internet, like I wouldn't have been in this position in the first place. So, hand to God, it's all my fault, as most things are, is what it is. Yeah, so let's talk just a little bit of strategy real quick. I am staying in an Airbnb on the other side of town. I made this decision at like 8 p.m. last night, which is kind of annoying. You don't really get good quality Airbnbs at 8 p.m., understandably. But yeah, we posted a pretty big supercut and in a masterclass 8 hours. It's performing pretty well. It's the first video in quite a while, to be honest. Last published video was June the 6th. So I guess it's not that long, actually. Wait a second. I'm sorry. What? Were these both published on June the 9th, or am I going crazy? Oh, we must have privatized this or made a change or something. That's weird. Anyway. So, yeah, like last 3 weeks, I published like 1, 2, 3, 4 videos. That's not that good. It's one video every like 4 days or something, right? We're going to be bumping that up significantly now, which is nice. So today I recorded another video. It's an N8N live build. It's my first agent build that I can confidently say is better than a non-agent build. Like the fact that I'm using an agent is actually a positive here. It's not just like a gimmick. It's for design purposes, and the cost of an error is basically nothing. It's very low. So when you have a situation where the cost of an error is very low, these agents can be quite the convenience. So I built this full end-to-end agent system, made a bunch of sub workflows and tools. I did it all live in N8N, and then I'm going to publish it in the next couple of days. And then from there, we're just going to do once every 48 hours. The goal is going to be to publish every 24 hours, though. So the thing about today's build was it was a massive pain in my ass. I didn't realize that this place that I moved into is right by a giant train. Like, yeah, anyways, you guys can't see, but there's like this beautiful verdant like canopy, and then like there's this like all these trees, and I was like, wow, it's like I'm in the middle of the forest. And then turns out immediately beyond the tree line is like the train tracks. And it's like, so I was trying to record, I was trying to record like the N8N stuff, and then like my table started shaking and shit, and I was like, oh my God. Then I forgot my charger last night when I rushed over here to like try and set everything up. So I lost like 40 minutes there. Then I had a call that I didn't realize. So I lost something there. Then for whatever reason, one of the APIs that I was using to upscale turned off. Then for whatever other reason, the other API I used to upscale started turning all of my images orange. So I say all this because the end total amount of time it took me to record this video was over 6 hours, which is one of the longest videos I've ever recorded now. Not one of the longest videos, but one of the longest like inputs into a video. So that sucks. It was really, really annoying. Just a total like L of a day, to be honest. And I've been on a streak of L's recently, which is unfortunate. The good news is Maker School kicked up again. So I'm not going to click this button, but it's like 2890. The other day was like 2880. If I go to the school games here, we're going to all time again. I'm up to 302,000 now. So I was 298 the other day or something like that, and I've since gained some. You will see that my last 7 days revenue is very, very low. So this is soon going to invert. Well, not invert, but it's going to be like basically nothing. But I'm starting to publish again. So the idea is it will go like this. This is where it is right now. It's going down, and then it'll go down a little bit more, and then it'll like fly up again. At least that's the hope. I don't know for sure. But I've also done a little bit of soul searching, and this isn't the most important thing to me anymore. I love being number one in the world for this thing, but to me, after a certain point, the money is just not as valuable as the impact that goes alongside it, and just like the notoriety and the legacy. So what I care more about right now is subscriber count. So I'm going to be changing my strategy to accommodate the subscriber count, and I'll worry about the money and whatnot later. I have no doubt in my mind the money will continue to come, just like I have been doing for the better part of the last like 2 years, where I just like pump enough inputs and then the outputs just win. Obviously, there's a way to be strategic about it, but yeah, that's that. Okay, now let's chat about daily improvements. So what I did here is I made a Google Doc called Nick Saraev Daily Improvements, and then I just go through. One small little daily improvement I could make is I'm just changing the writing color every daily update. So what this means is, let's say you get over here. Oh, I'm also just doing everything in my daily updates, by the way. I'm not just doing, like I'm doing my blog in my daily updates. Then I'm doing the note-taking for the daily update and the daily update. Then I'm doing my videos in my daily update. And I do this so that it says Nick Saraev Daily Updates. People go like, what the hell does that mean? It's another video that I did. But yeah, anyway, I'm just changing the color a little bit. And I think I should probably stick to a consistent left margin now. That'll make my life really easy. Could I just add like a line? What if I just did this? That'd be really smart. And then people could just follow the left margin that I'm creating, right? I think that makes sense. And then I just have like a left margin I can align to. Yeah, let's do that. That's a quick and easy solution to all this, right? Like why make stuff ugly when I could make stuff not ugly instead? Oh, nope. There you go. No. God damn it. No. Could I like deselect something? Ah, yes, I can. There you go. Yeah, that's cool. I'll just do a left margin. Let's do the left margin. Nice. And then we can do this, move this up here. And this could actually just be the top of my left margin. And then I should just remove, this stuff that I don't need. And I should do this. Nope, that's not what I want to do. And this. Shift it up here. Nope. I selected the whole line, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, and then let's just grab the line again. Let's go off a bit to the side. Okay, I don't know why I can't seem to select this line right now. Okay, there we go. Then in terms of the color, let's just make it really light. There you go. That looks fine. All right, so now there's just a consistent left margin, so I'm just going to like do everything by the consistent left margin. Maybe I'll have my blog on the other side so that it's just always like clearly visible. That's a good idea. So I'll do daily updates here, then people will see a bunch of this, be like, Nick, what the hell's Nick doing? Then as I scroll down, I'll go back like this, and you'll see I'll just have some big, long blog, which is nice. I should also tidy this up so that it's not as long, because right now, when it's this long, it just looks like it's a lot bigger and more intimidating than it actually is. Also, I should probably stick to some sort of like naming convention of my notes, because there is value in like having a written version of this. Also, I should make sure that my notes are always sufficiently dark so that I don't run into issues where like you can hardly see this. It's kind of annoying. Okay, those are some daily improvements. So I'm just going to use this check mark to check mark the daily improvements. Add a live build, debugging to end of daily updates, so I can get a head start on my main channel content. That's interesting. I guess the idea there was that I'd record my daily update before the main channel content, and then I could do some of my debugging during the daily update, but I don't really think there's too much value in that because I'm trying to do the content before my daily update now. That was one of the switch ups, and that's why I'm doing this so late today, because the main channel content took forever. Anyway, yeah, guys, so I guess what I'm trying to say is like that video that I published has already immediately changed my Maker School problem. However, my churn's still pretty high. And then I've also just like pivoted a little bit in terms of what I care about. So I'm going to be focusing more on subscriber counts. So the nature of my content's going to change a little bit. I'm going to go back to more live builds. I'm going to post consistently again once every 48 hours instead of once every, like 5 days. And yeah, just looking forward to getting some sleep tonight. That's going to be fun. Gonna leave it there. Thank you very much for staying with me. And let's see how great we can get tomorrow.